Hey, welcome to another Gen Con edition of Hey, My Friend Made a Thing. And I'm here with a new friend
Liam,
who made a thing, and it's called
The Way Forward.
The Way Forward. Now, that is a potent ass title.
It was going to be The Long Road, but I learned 30 seconds after making The Long Road and one quick Google search later that there is already a game called The Long Road.
That there is.
So, not that. And somebody suggested a bunch of other names, and I suggested a bunch of names, and several Yinglings later, The Way Forward was the one that I kept going back to and going, that one has such a good mouthfeel and energy.
Mouthfeel.
Yeah,
But
mouthfeel.
it does.
It
but
feels
it's
good on the
potent.
tongue.
It does.
Honey in the mouth, I believe, was one of my friends described it when you find the right
honey.
name.
Honey in the mouth is also itself a very potent sentence. I'm obsessed with honey and bees.
Bees are excellent. They make hexagons, and hexagons are the bestagons.
Hexagons are the bestagons.
Because of bees.
Hex crawl forever.
But that's not the point. We're
Hex
getting off
forever.
point.
Old school. Anyway.
But I picked the name The Way Forward.
Yes.
For a very sort of like a therapeutic reason, which we will get into later.
Okay.
But what is The Way Forward? The Way Forward is an RPG that I've been designing for a car full of people. That is the player count. So it
and
can
you play it in the car.
Yep, that is the idea. There are no dice because you
Amazing.
can't really roll dice easily
It's
in
a
a car.
car game.
The only thing you need to play is some paper and pens if you want them. Alternatively, a friend to just discuss things with, and a deck of playing cards.
Could you do have like a little chalkboard or like a little dry erase board or?
You could.
Yeah.
The one person I have had tested it didn't even write anything. She just had, by the time she was done, she had a stack of about 6 papers with like what you would imagine an artist's sketchbook would look like of things she saw on her
I love that.
adventure through The Way Forward.
Okay.
And The Way Forward simulates a road trip through random drawing and a couple tables, because I love a good table.
I do love a good table.
So what a typical turn in The Way Forward looks like is a day of travel. You draw one card, and it gives you a prompt from 52 different prompts, which gives you a scenario. So one of the first examples I came up with was you arrive at a location that has very clearly not been visited by people in years. It is old, it is falling apart, plants and kudzu have grown up over it. There's no windows left in it.
Kudzu, fuck.
But the power is still on.
The power is still on.
That is the hook for that for that prompt. The power is still on. Now, the other bit is the players can decide, what is this location? Is it an old school? Is it an abandoned local museum? Is it a dead radio station?
Okay.
However, in every prompt, there is, in place of the name of a location or the name of a person you meet, there is simply in brackets, location or stranger. And there is another table for 52 of each of those, each correlating to a card in the deck.
Okay.
And when I designed each of the entries for these cards, I looked at what like a tarot reading using just a deck of playing cards would be. So I can't remember, but I know one of the cards is just the idea of protection. And I tried to make the prompt, the location, and the stranger that would all come from that card have to deal with this idea of protection in some way.
So this is playing cards or tarot cards, or can it be played with both?
I wrote it out with the rules as written are playing cards, so the standard ace through king.
Yeah, that's what you take with you on the road trip, right?
Because that's what you wind up playing gin rummy or endless games of war in the back seat.
So here we have, you want some playing cards, and you want some kind of mark making.
Some sort of mark making, or as I said, if it is a driver and just their co-pilot, it can just be you guys discussing. Because some of the prompts are some prompts are complicated, like the aforementioned, you arrive at a location that clearly no human has been at in years.
Yeah.
But some of them also are, you are pulling into a place right as it is being robbed.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Or you your car breaks down. Engine trouble happens in some way, and the prompt suggests, do you wait for someone who could stop and help you? Do you walk to the closest place, in which case you can draw a stranger or a location? Or do you think you are the savvy type of person who has tools in the back and looks in the engine and knows, this is just a loose battery cable, I can fix this?
Oh wow!
And that was there's no mechanics, there's no stats or HP.
Right. It's not that kind of game.
There can definitely be the idea of this was journaling it out. This was finishing a prompt and going, this is the sort of thing that would my day ends here.
Well, let's zoom back a little.
Yeah.
Before we get into too many particulars. We already see that there are very different kind of prompts. Some are very kind of dreamlike and surreal, and some are much more visceral. But what you were talking about before interests me much more, because you were talking about folklore and Americana and capturing the idea of a road trip that is just this long, rambly kind of series of days that kind of has this very dreamlike and almost mythic feel, and that's what I want you to talk about, because that's what was lighting fires in my brain, and I want you to get into that just a little bit.
So my family has made multiple cross-country road trips from Ohio to California to Utah to Arizona, Washington State to Maine, New York, the northern Michigan.
I've been everywhere, man.
It is,
Just that really Johnny Cash
had it right.
Yeah.
But so many of the points of those road trips that stand out in my mind are these weird, almost like half-remembered, dreamlike experiences. Like one of my memories that it has made it into the game was in college, leaving my dorm room at almost midnight, driving 2 hours to my parents' home to pick up some luggage, and then driving all the way up to just outside of Detroit, Michigan to visit a friend, and arriving there at 4 or 5 in the morning and going to a Denny's.
Driving at night is so surreal, isn't it?
It warps your perspective of distance, and also it makes every space feel very transient and liminal. And one of my fond memories from that trip, this was a road trip I took with 2 college buddies and my girlfriend at the time. But we arrived at a gas station just in the middle of nowhere. There was no other lights as far as I could see. But we all opened the doors to the car, got out, stretched the kinks out of our back, and the first thing I heard was jazz playing. And there was a panel van sitting over in a corner of the parking lot, and just like 4 guys had set up chairs, and there was a 4-piece jazz band just playing in the corner of the parking lot.
Magical.
And that was such just a bizarre...
Just playing their instruments, just for the joy of just jamming.
Exactly.
That's beautiful.
And it's like, that's the sort of thing that, like, did this actually happen, or was I asleep and dreaming it? But it feels like the sort of thing that...
You said the word liminal, and I really want to draw attention to that, because travel is in essence liminal. I had a game I wrote once called Veer, and it was called Veer, so it was in essence about liminality and about transitions and about shifting from one essential state to another. And so I think about this a lot, and you've created a whole game that is about transitioning in a constant state, so a constant state of flow. Never being set, never staying in one place. And then you've hooked it into a sense of folklore and a sense of like this dreamlike state. And I think using cards really hooks into that, because you really don't know, even if you have it, you don't know what's going to happen next, and you don't know where you're going to go next. And I really love that. I think this is going to be really amazing when you share it with people. So this game is not completed yet.
It's about 50%.
Yes.
I had half of it, precisely half, and not one prompt more. I literally wanted to bring it to Gen Con. I had it, all of the clubs prompts for all 3 tables, and all of the hearts prompts for all 3 tables written. Which so the idea, if you drew a red card or a black card, you were fine.
Amazing. Which means you, the viewer, are jumping in on this game in the middle of the journey. See how appropriate
and
that is?
I know what I want.
Yeah.
I have all the strangers written out, at least names or identities, and I
Amazing.
have all of the locations named out and things. And once again,
Yes.
these are, I'd say, more than 75% of the strangers and the locations are places I have been, people I have met, if not in name, then in spirit.
Yeah.
If anyone here has traveled the roads of America, like I have, you will probably find where CJ's bait and boat rental store is.
Hey, once you meet Florida Man, you know you done met Florida Man.
Yep.
He served me a key lime pie and told me about like the crack he'd done, and I was just like, oh my God, I just met Florida Man.
Yeah. And going back to the Americana, there's a couple prompts in there that are very distinctly have this American folklore energy to them. There is getting to, there's a prompt about getting invited to camp out in a national park. There is going on a alien watch party near not Area 51.
Not Area 51.
There is a run-in with a cryptid on a mountain road. There are numerous things like that, and even the strangers you meet are a man who believes himself to be the last cowboy in America.
The last cowboy in America.
Ghost hitchhikers are a thing that you will encounter.
You gotta have ghost
There
hitchhikers.
is a fey prince that you may or may not encounter, and even a person who you may or may not be convinced is a real superhero, but they know that they are a superhero.
Amazing. Well, let's leave people with some sense of mystery and excitement to play this themselves and to play test it, of course.
Of course. And
so I have one. Did you have something else?
The only thing, the last bit I could say is, while some prompts are very much, there will be multiple chances per prompt to draw other cards, so that if you get the same prompt 2 games in a row, it may be at a different location, it may involve different strangers. There are some that are, this is just a single moment that is almost, I feel, going to be one of those things that's like, it doesn't matter how many road trips you've gone on, everyone has had this experience.
Oh, wow.
And the important thing is not what you thought of that experience at the time, it's what you thought of it every time it came up. And as the title said, moved forward from it.
I like it. I mean, that's definitely, you want to see the title experience in the playing of the game.
And
really
the title has to deal with my writing of the game itself. This is a game I have nearly completed twice. The first time I would say I was about 90% done, but when I had someone test it, they were like, "There's too many mechanics. There's HP. There's sanity."
Yeah,
and I promptly
amazing
highlighted all, deleted.
Too many notes.
I got 60% of the way through it a second time and deleted it, and this was back when it was
You
still called.
feel better about it now.
I feel better about it now, and I found a way forward to make this game.
I'm glad you did.
And at the same time, it has helped me get through sort of a mental rut of the last year. So it has become my way forward of getting a lot of ideas out and sort of making a healthy creative outlet.
Liam, that's really amazing. Yeah. That's the road, man. That's
that
what
is
it's about.
that is the
Hell
road.
Yeah. All right, so I have one more question for you.
Of course.
And this is my favorite question in every single interview that I do. So, what is some tech, and by tech I mean just like idea or a game or like thought technology. What is an idea or a happening or a trend? What is something going on in gaming or game design right now that has you so hyped? What's something that inspires you that's emerging right now?
I would say right now, the ease of access for anyone with an idea, the means to build it and make it actually something available to the public through things like itch.io or Indie Press Revolution or countless other groups like that. Even if it's an RPG and a written thing, it is so easy to get it up there and get people to read it. If it is a board game, there are so many services for like oh, you need like just 5 of this board on a short run print, and there's a easily
There it
affordable thing. Yeah, that if you have just a weird casual junkyard dog piecemeal idea of a game, you can make it look professional and well made with very minimal effort. And I love that.
Of course, some of us still don't like our shit to be professional and
Oh,
well-made,
no.
but he doesn't know
But
that.
last year at Origins, I demoed a
But
game.
you can.
Oh yeah, last year at Origins, I demoed a game called The Gilded Age, and it was very rough, but it, one, looked very well done, and two, the designer clearly had a deep passion for it, and this was his passion project, and there was a lot of love. And I sat down with that guy for about 40 minutes and just talked about his game. I went and did a paid demo of it, and then came back with feedback. And
So great.
he, by the end of it, he wound up like giving me a copy of his another game just as a thank you for all this feedback he provided.
So
and
the services are there. There's a lot more infrastructure for manifesting a passion into like actually being able to put it out there that there wasn't before. Yeah.
And you said get it out there. The internet has made
get it
that
out
so
there.
easy.
Yeah.
Just to sometimes find the necessary people. I have had to
Exactly.
with the way forward, I had spitballed so many prompts off people of like, hey, does this read right? Or is this, do I need to rework this?
You
And
can just find your people.
yeah, and I find the
Exactly.
people, and I can't do format, I cannot draw to save my life, but I have people who are like, when this is done, please mail it to me so I can format it and get it looking professional for
Amazing.
you.
I love that. And I love that for you.
Yeah.
And I love that for everybody. I love that for me. Okay, amazing. Liam, thank
Yes.
you so much for talking
You're
to me.
welcome.
I enjoyed this so much. All right, let's wave it, everyone. All right,
Well,
go check out
threats and
Liam's
goodbye.
game.
Hopefully it's up somewhere by the time
It's
you
gonna
post
be.
this.
Don't worry.
d-
I'll bully him into putting it up.
When it's up, a link will appear right here
Yes,
where
or
you can
down
click.
below. A link is gonna be
I'm gonna just
somewhere.
keep pointing
Yes,
around the screen,
let's just
and
point.
we're gonna put.
A link it will be somewhere.
There will be a hyperlink embedded in this
Yes.
video to where you can find the game
Hyperlinks.
somewhere.
They exist. I'll put it there.
There's
anyway,
not going to be any link on the screen, is there? They
No.
they were all just watching this, waiting for a link to appear. It
Gotcha.
never appeared.
No,
Ha.
there's
It's
gonna be.
it's down below in the
Yes,
description.
go check out the game.
Hopefully,
Bye,
probably.
everyone.
Bye.